You all saw the bombshell Epstein emails this week. The ones where Epstein said Trump spent hours at my house with one of the girls. But there's something in this mess almost nobody's talking about. Something that changes the whole timeline. And I don't say that lightly. As a former plainclothes narcotics cop with years of investigative experience, I know what it looks like when somebody's trying to keep certain details out of view. Today, I'm going to walk you through something we all missed. Before we get into the part that everyone's overlooked, look at what's happening around these documents right now. The White House just met with Lauren Boebert in the Situation Room. Not about national security, but to convince her not to back a Republican push to release the Epstein files.
Has he personally asked you to take your name off the discharge petition?
The president never asked me to take my name off of the discharge petition.
Mm-hmm. But did he raise any concerns about you taking that position?
The president has not forced me to do anything. The president has not put pressure on me. I was not asked by the president to remove my name.
You don't pull a member of Congress into a secure room over nothing. Trump's own Department of Justice also backed off its promise to release the full archive. The shift didn't come out of nowhere. And despite all that, the White House is calling the emails a Democratic hoax. But these emails didn't come from Democrats. They came from Epstein's estate. 23,000 documents handed to Congress. If you're calling your friend's private correspondence a hoax, it usually means something in there cuts a little too close. And through all of this, Trump keeps repeating the same line. He hasn't talked to Epstein since the early 2000s, but now we know that was a bold-faced lie. Here's why. There's one email that hasn't gotten the attention it deserved. It's dated November 13th, 2016, 5 days after Trump won the election. A former Microsoft executive emails Epstein saying, "You still in Paris?" Epstein replies with 2 words, Trump Tower. Now just think about that for a second. Trump Tower in November of 2016 wasn't a tourist stop. It was the president-elect's headquarters. Security was locked down. You needed clearance or connections to get anywhere near that building. So if Epstein was there after the election, the obvious question is why? Trump says they hadn't spoken in 15 years, that they had a falling out, that he barely knew him.
From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president.
But that doesn't line up with Epstein sitting inside Trump Tower during the most sensitive moment of Trump's political life. And this isn't the only thing that contradicts the story we've been told. Other emails say Trump spent hours at Epstein's house. Another says Trump knew about the girls. Another hints they spent Thanksgiving together in 2017. These aren't little inconsistencies. They cut right through the timeline Trump has been repeating for years. After 2 decades of policing, here's what I know. When a suspect keeps repeating the same exact timeline, word for word, over and over, even as new details emerge that could undermine their story, it's usually because the real one leads somewhere they don't want anyone looking. This isn't about a past friendship. It's about access. It's about influence, and it's about who had the president-elect's ear and when. And when you see the Situation Room meetings, shifting stories, and sudden pressure campaigns, that's not noise. That's a sign that Trump has something to hide. And he'll apply every pressure point he has to prevent the truth from getting out. I'm Michael Fanone, and this is The Michael Fanone Show.